Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the Supreme Court has had it with these lower court judges making up their own rules. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett were among the conservatives who tore into lower court judges who keep making up their own rules, and the cases have to go all the way back to the Supreme Court to get smacked down again. Well, that's the case with the NIH funding for diversity, equity, and inclusion. The Supreme Court said no to the lower court judge. You're wrong. Trump can make these cuts. You overstepped your bounds. But Justice Neil Gorsuch, who was appointed by Trump and confirmed by the Senate, he said it's getting tiresome. He said this is 3 times in 3 weeks that we have had to smack down a lower court judge. We didn't say smack down, obviously. He's a jurist. I'm saying it. But we had to basically straighten you out because you're trying to make up your own rules. You're trying to defy this court. He said, now you can have a difference of opinion with us, but you can't defy the precedent we set. And that's it. Now, of course, liberals are very upset about this, but they're right. Whether you like a Supreme Court decision or not, it's the law of the land once they make that decision. End of story. So you can't, as a judge, well, I'm a liberal and I don't think it was right. It doesn't matter what you think. You're not on the Supreme Court. Of course, Biden's pick, Justice Brown, she was furious with this decision, but the decision stands. I want you to listen to the decision and let me know what you think in the comments.
President up to 270 days to impose curfews and restrict traffic. And the Supreme Court's allowing the Trump administration to slash hundreds of millions of dollars in research funding in its push to cut federal diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. The court lifted a judge's order blocking $783 million worth of cuts made by the National Institutes of Health. But the court did keep Trump administration guidance on future funding blocked. Senior Washington reporter Devin Dwyer has more. So, Devin, the plaintiffs have argued that these cuts will inflict incalculable losses in public health and human life. The Justice Department says funding decisions shouldn't be subjected to judicial second-guessing and that DEI efforts can, in their words, conceal insidious racial discrimination. So how did the justices reach their decision here?
This really fragmented the Supreme Court, Diane, and it came in a challenge to those executive orders that President Trump signed very early on, rooting out DEI initiatives, funding for COVID research, and also gender identity at the National Institutes of Health. What happened at the Institute is they issued a guidance memo outlining which research projects the government would no longer fund. They came up with a list, $780 million of projects. Those were canceled. And the recipients of those grants went to court. And the Supreme Court yesterday said that they would refuse to block those, the lower court order for now, meaning the government can't be forced to pay out money it will never get back while this litigation proceeds. But in something of an interesting twist, the Supreme Court did say that the government's guidance, what it put out saying which projects are good and which projects are bad, maybe wasn't so clear, might have actually been illegal and in the terms of the law, arbitrary and capricious. So what that means is going forward, these government grants can't be blocked. But for now, the ones that the Trump administration identified can be put on hold, Diane.
The ruling allows the administration to move forward with canceling hundreds of grants